In this episode of Vibe Gardening, it's been a while since the last ones. Unlike the previous episodes, I'm going to go into a bit of a update episode. We're going to talk about what happened to the garden since I was last here. We last covered it about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Talk about what happened to the plants, some of the ecosystem, and what I've done since then. Because it's been quite a while. All right, guys. So let's get into this. So as you can see here, the tomatoes have really grown. As a matter of fact, these tomatoes at one point were taller than me. I'm about 6 foot tall. So I think they've gotten to be about 6 foot and maybe 3 to 4 inches at least. And I've noticed from the last season's experience that they've gotten so tall that they would actually not be able to support themselves with the length they have gotten away, but they've actually outgrown the trellis. Once they get away from the trellis, and then the weight of the fruit started bearing down, I'm sure it's going to snap. So, I probably should have maybe watched some video on how to prune tomatoes. I've seen some for slicing type, not for real tomatoes. So what I did was I just, like the name of the channel suggests, I vibe pruned. And so far they seem to be doing okay. I topped it off. Whatever I see that I don't think will be supported going forward, I chop them off, and then I composted the whatever I cut off. I try to maintain as much of the flowering or fruiting ones as I can, but still, as you can see with this one kind of bent over quite a bit. So did it work? We'll see, right? It's about kind of mid to the end of July. Starting to see some of the green tomatoes starting to get red, and at least according to ChatGPT and the internet, I think my timing is right about correct. As you can see here, this red tomato here, it's looking huge. It's bigger than any tomato I've had last season. And I'm not sure if it's from crossbreeding with neighbor's tomato, or if it's just really healthy this time, but it's starting to get red now, and I'm really thinking it's right on time. Another issue with this tomato is that this trellis here, it's starting to lean forward. I don't really quite know what to do with it. As for the pepper, they look quite healthy, but really I've not seen any fruit yet. I've seen some flowers, but I got a feeling due to the amount of heat we've had earlier in July, they've all died from the heat, the flowers, and potential fruit. So now it's getting a little cooler, so I think I'm seeing some flowers, but then with another burst of heat coming up later this week, so hopefully they'll survive. As we can all see from earlier this season, the marigolds are doing very well. They're all starting to bloom out a little bit, of course staggering in time. So these are some of my neighbor's marigold and mine that I planted from seed, from botanic interest. I think they're all doing just fine. This is my most advanced cilantro yet, and this one, as we can see, has gone past bolting and has a lot of corianders come out already. So this is going to be a pattern for a lot of cilantros. It's a little harder to see. This one is the parsley. They're starting to flower. Even though it's their first year, I started them indoors in the fall, and then I brought them out. I think what happened was with all that warm temperature, the winter being indoors, and then this transplant into the outdoors in the winter, in the early spring, I think the parsley got mixed into thinking the second year. So the perennial, I think they are actually starting to bolt now, which I guess not the worst thing in the world. As you can see here, all the cilantro are basically bolting by this point. And I think that's okay. Though I didn't get the most use out of it, they're beautiful. They're attracting pollinators. So this is the most chaotic part of my garden. This is my eggplant, celery, and cucumber bed. So this one so far, I'm starting to see quite a bit of activity going on. Like right now, the main issue is I actually had to get a addition to my trellis here, adding a second one. It's also flapping over. From going on trips over the last couple of weeks, it's been there's been some drought situations going on, but I have a timed watering system going on. And I think they're doing quite well. It's been very active with pollinators, so everything is doing quite well. I even got myself this bag here is full of dead Japanese beetle here. It's kind of like a deterrent for them to come to this part of the garden where I'll put up another lure elsewhere in the garden to try to defer them elsewhere. As you can see, these black beauties are coming on quite fine. They're still in their adolescent stage, But honestly, I think the sides are getting really good. And looky here, we got a flower with a bumblebee just sticking its butt out. These are my VIPs in the garden. Absolutely love them coming in here and pollinating everything. Always keep them coming. Got myself a random dill here growing. This definitely would help with pickling the cucumbers later on. So I'll make another episode on how to pickle using this dill, but it is quite useful for culinary purposes. Keep them coming. As you can see with the celery here, it's very healthy with some very nice stalk coming. We already had a one harvest, created quite a bit of chicken soup with them for a nice little summer vegetable soup. They're absolutely fabulous. You can see this is my leaning trellis setup here. It's kind of a double section here, and it's not the best. This is a miscalculation on my part, but I hope it's going to hold until the end of the season. We shall see. It's only been about a month in or less. More updates later. One thing for sure about this cucumber is that it's been really a problem. It comes down to basically leaf death here. I'm not really sure what's been going on. I've been trying to do water more. I also realized that these guys actually need to get back on feeding, because one of the other things that happened in this garden was I stopped feeding basically all my plants because I believe I've stored enough nutrition in there for them to thrive all season. But the cucumber here was been growing so fast that I realized that, I can't really just let them vibe. I need to give them a little more nutrition. So I give them a little bit of Epsom salt for magnesium, and then I added some more of the Miracle Grow tomato blend for the produce stuff. And it seems at least the color is getting back healthy again. As you can see here, we still have one of the cucumber leaves still discolored here a little bit, with more yellow in the middle. But this one was also in trouble earlier. As you can see, this one recovered quite well. There's not much discoloration left. I believe that extra feeding I gave it in the middle of the season really helped it come along. Of course, one thing that we cannot underestimate is how much production these cucumber are producing. I planted 4 of them thinking, I can pickle them. But honestly, I'm getting, when it's healthiest, I was getting 2 to 3 cucumbers a day on average. Now I'm still averaging 1 to 2 a day. You got to prepare to cook them. This bed is a little hard for me to get myself in here and everything else going. But this is my berry and herb bed. So the blackberry, of course, is kind of vibing hard right in the front. All the herbs are going quite well. As you can see, the dill is becoming like a leaning tower of Pisa here. I need to really tie it down to the fence to keep it from getting crazy. And the sage is going absolutely nuts, crowding out all the chives, and I can't even find the savory anymore. But either way, I think these guys are coming along pretty well. When I first started gardening last year, I was to Meyer, and I picked up one of the strawberry plants, thinking, oh, they'll be tasty and great as usual, right? Well, this is the Bonnie brand, and I'm not really sure I like this too much. The flavor is okay, mediocre at best, and doesn't produce that much. It also didn't produce runners until this year, which I guess is a good thing, but now seeing a lot of video on how these things are grown, maybe I'll reconsider. But as you can see, they are well protected behind my squirrel-proof cage, which was a huge issue last year in that the squirrels ended up eating a lot of my strawberry before they became ripe. This year, it's all mine. I love it. Of course, who doesn't like a nice blooming set of lemon thyme? It's lemon time, people. Honestly, if you can spot the savoring here, you got a great eye, because it's kind of hidden now. It's still alive. Not really thriving though. I think the sage and the mint kind of crowded it quite a bit. And you're asking why to put mint in here? That was a mistake, thinking I can repel pests. But honestly, now it's become a monster. So this right here is my black fruit soup, which is a Japanese heirloom pie pumpkin. It's still actually pretty good. It's yellowing a little bit. I can probably give it a little extra water and maybe a little more nutrition. But the reality here is that something has been coming out and eating the fruit that's coming up. Because right now, there's been a few female flowers, and I just don't see the squash. But I've seen plenty of flowers for sure. I've seen 1 or 2, but I think some of the things ate it. I take that back. We have 1 survivor. It's gone, Let's roll. This has been a interesting experiment of ours. We got a box of seeds from someone, and it's a little late for the season, so we try to plant what we could. And that was late June, and these are cantaloupes. It seems like it would be fine, so we try to germinate them, but honestly, the germination rate is below 25%. And there's one of them that made it. We tried to make another one, but seems like none of the other seeds quite made it through. So here we are. I mean, it's kind of coming along. Hopefully later in the season, it's going to explode and provide some nice cantaloupe later in the season. Next to my lovely grow, we have this potted container here with 2 sage on the side and some what used to be chamomile in the middle. This was, I mean, I kind of figured that I might kill them on my trip over 4th of July because these plants have been, at least the chamomile, has been overran by aphids and all their ant friend. They're having a wild party here. And I just had no answer for that. So I basically just let it die. I did get about a few containers worth of nice chamomile flowers from this. So I figured I got my return on investment. Time to close shop and move on. As you can see here, on the dead chamomile, you can still see some signs of the old aphid that's left over. Looks like my neighbor's ladybug she bought and released hasn't fully came over and released my plants of these little aphids and their ant friends. Oh well, better planning next year. I think the nitrogen boost I gave it really made a lot of leaves that these aphids love. We'll figure something out for next year. You might have noticed that there's this bag here. This is one of those Japanese beetle traps, and this is about a couple thousand beetles I've trapped already. Came back from 4th of July vacation. There was quite a bit of a Japanese beetle party over my eggplant and cucumbers. So I sprung to action. I'll make another whole episode about how I was able to essentially beat off this wave of Japanese beetle. But here I am. I'm using this bag of full of Japanese beetle. I think some are still alive in there. I'm using it as a smell deterrent to keep those Japanese beetle away. And in the meantime, let's go on to the real thing. And we have here the real thing. This is actually just freshly changed early this morning because it was so full earlier. It's already got, I would say, maybe 10, 20 or more Japanese beetles crawling over it, and it's already past peak season. This right here is doing the bulk of the work. It's got a lure module basically on top. It's got the pheromones that makes them all attract to go and party in the same place. It's doing its work and basically putting them in a bag they can't get out of. And this is what made me win the battle against Japanese beetle this season. The cherry tomato here is probably the worst mistake I made. I put it in a container thinking I can make it more mobile, move around the sun and everything. And as you can see, the leaves are struggling. I even put it right next to the water hose, but it's one of those things that I feel like I need to water it every day or it's going to be done for. And I really should have put it in the ground. So next year, I definitely will try to work the ground here a little bit to make some space for this thing to grow in the garden itself. This is the garden in the front. I have not really shown this before, but we got a marigold right to your left. That one was actually a broken off branch from the back. And I just saw this pot where we got a bunch of primrose that was basically dying off a little bit. I was like, you know what? What's worse that can happen if I just put the marigold in the dirt, right? Well, they all came around and it's doing quite well and it's thriving. And then right behind it, we got ourselves a grow bag full of what turns out to be New Mexican hatch peppers that I got seeds from my neighbor here down the street. And it's come along quite well, and they are awesome. They're very drought resistant, heat resistant, and does well. Look how beautiful and productive these pepper plants are becoming. They'll be delicious for roasting, just a little bit more mild than jalapenos when they're done. One of the more challenging things I tried this year was to basically start lavender from seed. And it was absolutely challenging. It took me until my 3rd try to actually be able to be successful. So thank you, Budget Gardener, for putting up some really good videos on how to do it. They finally got some success, and they're doing quite well right now. And they are very drought resistant, and basically they can take all kind of weather. So hopefully by the winter rolls around, they'll be established enough to become a perennial for next year and many more years to come. You can see this one, this early in its life, is able to start flowering. I think it's quite awesome. I'm pronouncing this right. This is a bunch of, I think, calendulas my mother-in-law brought to us last year. She planted a bunch. They flowered, and well, here they are, coming right back up like weeds. Though I hear they're pretty good in repelling mosquitoes. I'm not sure, but they're back. Party. So this right here is our sort of we tried and we ran a room garden. So a lot of the plants that came from construction, which could relocation, they end up here, like the hydrangeas you can see, showing that we got pretty basic soil here with some pink flowers. And some of the extra marigolds I put in here, the bunnies basically ate majority of them. There was though no extra as well, but yeah, the bunny loved them too, so they don't exist anymore. And then we got some daylilies that are past bloom already, and they are being putting out seeds. So this seems to be going pretty well, and we give it a minimal kind of flowering and watering, and it's just kind of a lot of very low maintenance and growing on their own right now. Remember how I said I didn't quite like those strawberries I was growing? Well, I couldn't quite help myself from potting up these runners because better things to grow, right? Well, here they are. I don't know. I might be putting these to compost. We'll see. But we got them now. This right here is a little bit of bonus content. This is my wife's garden, which I really shouldn't be covering, but here it is. And we've done a great job getting some zucchini, acorn squash, and her own celery plants, and some green beans growing. And they survived quite a bit of rabbit attack and bunny attack rather, and there's being a fence on it, which really helps the situation. But the zucchini really has come along quite well. It gives us a lot of good crops. Well, guys, that's it for this episode. I know it's not quite as informative as the previous couple episodes, but overall, you've got the best picture of my garden yet, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Until next time, keep gardening and keep vibing.